I got a letter this morning. I got a letter this morning.
Hello, my horror movie fans, and welcome back to another Mama Review. Today, I am going to be reviewing teeth. And not just any teeth, vagina teeth. Yes, I said it, vagina teeth. This movie is absolutely brilliant. This is one of those hidden gems in the horror world. This is a creature feature where we never see the creature, which is fascinating, and I love it so much. This movie was done by all these lovely people here. Again, I'm not going to say anyone's name because, as we found out, I can't pronounce names. Though I am going to try this name again because it was pointed out to me that it's an easy name. So, Xavier DeMatteis? Xavier DeMatteis. I know it's supposed to be easy, but I'm not clever. Okay, moving on. Let's get down into this teeth review. This movie, seriously, was done so well. There are so many little things in this movie that tie everything together that if you're not watching the movie, you might end up missing. For instance, there's a scene, well, there's several scenes where we see the house, and in the background of the house, we see what we can assume is a nuclear power plant. So right there, we kind of get the fact that this is why this girl could potentially have a mutant vagina. There's also a lot of just subtle sex symbolism all throughout the movie, which again, I appreciate. There is also this religious undertone in the movie that gets repeated a couple times, but it's not so heavy that it puts you off. It's just enough for you to understand where the character is coming from, where Dawn is in her own head. There's little scenes to show you why she wouldn't have known that her vagina was different because, like, again, the religious undertones of the school. It also explains a lot of the background without having to go into this huge, elaborate, mini movie in the middle of watching the movie. You do get little glimpses of, like, in the very first scene is your first glimpse at where we're going to go with this. And in the very first scene, you kind of get a hint about mentally what the stepbrother is like. So I do appreciate all those little things coming together. It's simple and it still gives us what we need to understand this whole story. So we're going to get into now some of my favorite scenes, and there are a lot. And of course, they're all the gory scenes, but I'm a horror fan. First scene is when this little prick of a boy who clearly was just preying on sexually frustrated virgins to get laid, gets his dick bit off and dies. Love it. Absolutely love it. I love it for so many reasons. I love it because it proves the point of consent. You have to consent. If you don't consent, that thing's going to tear you apart. And great for her. I wish every woman had a vagina like that. Because if every woman had a vagina like that, we wouldn't have to be dealing with all this rape and shit out in the world right now. So, yeah, if there's any scientists out there who could make this a thing, I'll test a tooth vagina. I think it's brilliant. We get into another gory scene where we have this sleazeball gynecologist doctor.
What did you put in here?
Who took off his glove to give her an exam. Ew. So much cringe and nasty there. That was just disgusting. Like on a health and safety level, not to mention on like just you're a gross creep level. Takes off his glove, shoves his hand right up in her, And then, of course, Vagina Teeth takes off his fingers, flings that doctor around the office like he's a fucking rag doll. It is amazing. I loved that scene. I actually, in my real life, reference that scene a lot just as a joke because it is one of my favorite scenes. And then we have one of the final scenes. It's not the final scene, but it's towards the end of the movie when she takes revenge on her stepbrother because she blames her stepbrother for her mother's death. And so she seduces her stepbrother. Ew, I know. Technically, they're not siblings, even though they were raised like siblings, but it's clear that he doesn't see her as a sibling. So don't get too grossed out about that. You just have to see the whole movie to understand why. But she seduces him and then snap, bites off his dick. Amazing. And what makes that scene even better is the fact that his dog then eats it. His dog ate his dick, and not in like a gross sexual way. His dog ate his dick as in chomp, swallow, gone. That bitch ain't got a dick anymore. Awesome. Loved it. He deserved that type of revenge. I do want to get into the things that I didn't like about the movie. Now, honestly, there's not a lot that I didn't like about this movie. I feel really strongly about this movie, especially in this time of like this Me Too movement and no means no and consent. I think that this movie really hits a lot of points in our society and I really enjoy it. What I don't like about it at all, is this whole promise ring club thing. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. And I know that we kind of had to have it to progress the story to where it eventually ended up and that at the end of it all, we get it. But it still didn't sit well with me. And the reason it didn't sit well with me is because I don't think at any point you should say, you know, wait until marriage to have sex. And I have a teenage daughter, okay? I'm not an idiot. So don't think like that. I do have a daughter. But I think that when you completely repress something and completely say that is forbidden and that is off limits, then you get yourself into trouble. And if you don't believe me, I have 2 words for you. Catholic priests, right? They get repressed and they get told that they absolutely cannot do something. And then it all goes tits up from there. So that's why I don't like the whole promise ring type thing going on in the movie. It's probably more of a personal thing than it has anything to do with the movie in itself. Because like I said, I love this movie. This is one of my favorite movies. It's funny, it's hard-hitting, it's got gore, it's got a creature that we don't see, it's got some suspense scenes, it's got even a bit of funny scenes, a little comedy thrown in there. All in all, I think this movie's fan-fucking-tastic. If you haven't seen this movie, fucking watch this movie. I know I just spoiled so many things for you, but you still need to watch this movie. It is amazing. If you've listened to my review and you don't agree with me, if you don't like this movie, fuck you. Just fuck you. I don't know what your problem is if you don't like this movie. We can't be friends if you don't like this movie. I'm only kidding. So yeah, that's going to end my review of Teeth, aka The Power of the Vagina. As always, I'm active on all my social media, so go ahead and follow me there. And if you could like and subscribe to my channel. I am probably going to end up turning this into just a horror movie review channel because, to be perfectly honest with you, this is the most fun that I have had in a very long time. I don't know what that says about how pathetic my life is, but this is so much fun to me. I love being able to talk about some of my favorite and not so favorite horror movies. So that's what this is going to end up being. And I'm excited about it. So share my channel with people or any horror fans that you know. Point them my way. And as always, send me some ideas for movies to watch and review. Horror movies, or a good scary sci-fi. I might do that as well. So until next time, bye.